Welcome to the Business Boys Talkin-Business Virtual Power Lunch. Please welcome your hosts, Tyler Price and Brian Magleby.
Hey!
We be back, brother.
Back.
Yeah,
Good to be here.
it is talking business, and tablecloth is a little bit showing
Something.
off here. We
Yeah.
did not get that set very well.
Yeah.
We are a bunch of guys trying to run the show today, huh?
Judge us harshly.
Yeah. So welcome back, Tyler, from the sunny San Diego area.
That was great
It's
times.
a beautiful tan
It
you
is.
got there.
Well, it's probably more of a burn than anything, but yeah, I did not put sunscreen on purpose.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good job. Well, welcome back. Last week had the one and only Heidi Blumel on here. You missed it.
Yeah.
Dustin and I
Yeah.
held down the fort, and great interview with. She's a super entrepreneur, has some great ideas, had a great training that she actually provided the training.
Wow.
It's the first time we've ever let a guest do that.
Yeah.
But that was absolutely awesome that she did a great job there and trained us all up on customer retention. And we gave away $50 to the Suntan City.
Wow.
Even.
I could've
Someone's
gone
going to get
there.
nice and tanned up
Yeah.
there. So good job. Let's talk about the show today. Justin, and I've been scolded and saying his last name wrong, so I will not mess that up again. Justin Pedersen, he's with Big Lick Company.
Yeah, big lick. I
He's
like
a
that.
tenant at the Idaho Innovation Center, one of our newer tenants there. This guy is a super entrepreneur doing some great things, and we're gonna have a great interview with Justin Pedersen. He comes from a good lineage here in the valley. So
Nice.
we're gonna
Looking forward
talk
to
about that. We'll probably learn a little bit about his family, and we're excited. Let's talk about some of the upcoming classes that we have.
Well, you got that one starting tomorrow.
Starting
Highly
tomorrow.
recommend it. The BBSI guys are helping it, Jared, right?
They are. Jared's going to be running that class. If your company sells anything,
Yeah. doesn't
product
matter.
or service,
Be in this class.
you should be in this class. That is, I cannot talk highly enough about this class. The feedback that we've had on this class is absolutely phenomenal. If you question what kind of questions should you be asking making a sale, what about during the sale? What about after the sale? What's the right closing techniques? When do you follow up with? How do you follow up with? There's the class code. It's only $149, and guess what? We're going to give away a class for just $99
Wow.
today, $50 off.
Some lucky winner.
Some lucky winner will be winning that. But this class, it's just I popped into it. This is, I think, the third or fourth time that he's taught the class. I just think that every business owner should be in this class.
Yeah, well, and it just speaks back to our sponsors, BBSI being one of them,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a company that these types of trainings, HR, payroll, exit strategies, I mean,
Yep.
between Jeremy and Jared, Mike, and the rest of those guys,
Yep.
I mean, they do great service for the companies.
They do. They do. Absolutely phenomenal. So you've got to be crazy not to want to attend this class. It's 4 Wednesdays, starts tomorrow, 1:30 to 3 at the Idaho Innovation Center. It's only $149. And here's my promise to you. If you don't get your value after the first week,
Yeah,
I will let you attend the rest of the time for free.
wow.
I can guarantee that because I've attended the first class and I know how powerful it is. It's changed people's business by the way they do their sales by coming to this class. Very little homework, but there is great content that he takes you through, and it makes you think what you're doing in business and how you're doing sales. You can't miss this class. It's
No.
absolutely that good. So we have a grow business class that we're starting at the end of March. You've taken that class.
Yeah.
It's
I
a
would recommend that
it's a
one.
highly intensive class. It's a 10-week course. It's for businesses who have been in business for over a couple of years.
Yeah.
That's the one qualification on this class. But even the ones that are newer startups could gain some from it, but you'll probably gain stuff that you'll use 2, 3, 4 years down the road. It's a 10-week course on Tuesdays from 2 to 5, and it starts at the end of the month, March. So
Comes with a textbook, workbook, all that type of stuff.
it is.
and
The manual alone is worth the price. I've had many people tell me that the price of the workbook alone is worth the price of the class. In other towns, they charge thousands of dollars for this class. We're only charging $395. The manual alone costs us about half that. So, great class, and check those out. You can look at them if you want. Go to another one of our sponsors, IdahoSBDC.org. You can check out all of our classes at IdahoSBDC.org.
Yeah, since we've kind of talked about 2 of our sponsors, we should probably talk about the rest.
We should.
There's BBSI, there's SBDC. How about Tyson with New Line?
New Line Media keeps us going here in our production studio each and every week. Man, he does, videography is kind of what he specializes in, but marketing, task automation, events, live streaming like we're doing now, sales and onboarding, content, aerial photography. He did that.
He can fly a drone.
He can, and you're going to see it in the ad that we're going to show here in just a second. So, an animation, the guy is just amazing at what he does. So look at him. Vulpine Marketing, the Idaho Innovation Center. We appreciate them keeping us in line as well. So, absolutely great. Well, let's show a quick video here on the Idaho Innovation Center, and then we'll be back with our guest this week, Justin Pedersen.
Idaho Innovation Center, taking your business to the next level. The Idaho Innovation Center is a business incubator located in eastern Idaho, providing resources to companies where entrepreneurs can confidently and aggressively start and grow their small business through collaboration, education, mentoring, and shared resources. Here's what some tenants of the Idaho Innovation Center have said. The classes they hold at the Idaho Innovation Center have proven to be invaluable for my business and its growth. The Idaho Innovation Center has given my business the support when needed in areas of business strategy, marketing, networking, and growth opportunities. An innovative tenant said, "The training and mentoring has helped us accomplish things we would never have done on our own. Thank you." And a technology client said, "The Idaho Innovation Center has been a perfect partner for our startup. The staff is focused on taking business to the next level, and we have." And finally, I would recommend the Idaho Innovation Center as the best resource to either start or grow your business in eastern Idaho. The Idaho Innovation Center, stimulating entrepreneurial spirit and innovation through business growth and development in eastern Idaho. At the Idaho Innovation Center, entrepreneurs can confidently grow their business through networking and educational opportunities with experienced business professionals. There is access to many free amenities, including one-on-one business mentoring and advising through the Small Business Development Center, conference room usage, and reception services. Everything we do at the Idaho Innovation Center is designed to help keep costs down and energy up for growth-oriented businesses. Idaho Innovation Center, taking your business to the next level.
Wow.
That Idaho Innovation Center.
That's a cool place.
Yeah. You guys have had some success too. We're here with one of the tenants, right?
It
now.
is. It is.
But what are some of the things that you can say in terms of job and revenue over the past maybe 5 years?
Let's go 6 years. That's the numbers
6
I
years?
crunched yesterday.
Okay.
So $93 million in impact within this eastern Idaho region.
And Justin's going to double it because he's going to do that all by himself.
That's
so,
right.
Yeah.
And over 1,000 jobs. So that's why we brought Justin on as a tenant at the Idaho Innovation Center, because he's got some really big things happening. So tell us a little bit about Justin Pedersen.
Well, I'm not an Idaho native.
Yeah.
I'm a transplant. My mom's from Idaho Falls,
Yep.
and her dad owned V1 Propane. Started
Okay.
that.
Great lineage here in the town,
Yeah.
Benions.
So, his company was in all of the Intermountain West.
Yeah.
And so we grew up with propane in our veins, as my mom likes to say. But yeah, so I'm very familiar with the Idaho Falls area. I would come up here all the time to visit Grandpa, and he had a farm out here that we'd come and enjoy. And so that's where I'm living right now.
Yeah.
So it's Grandpa's old farm.
That's great. So this is your third generation to own the farm then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool too, right?
Yeah.
So you're a transplant. You're not from the area, but you recently moved into the area, which we've seen a influx of that. So you had ties to Idaho Falls, but are there things that maybe leaving, because you came from Virginia?
Yeah.
Virginia is a pretty friendly business state, though,
Mm-hmm.
isn't there? But
Yeah.
but what was really the driving factor, maybe other than the farm, of coming back to the area?
I've kind of signaled to my siblings that this farm like I want this farm,
Yeah.
you know, and they're busy doing some other things. And so there was just an opportunity for my wife and I to make a move and try and make this farm our own. We just we're not antisocial. We just enjoy beautiful places, and this farm is.
And it is on the banks of the Snake River, up in below Swan Valley area, between here and Idaho Falls and Swan Valley. And what a beautiful area. I've seen some pictures of it, an absolutely gorgeous area. So tell us about the place that you have up there.
Just 180 acres. It's about half dry farm, and then the other half is wooded with 1.5 miles river frontage.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Off grid too.
off grid. Yeah.
Off grid. He snowmobiles to get to the highway. That is amazing. So
you are seeing, because we bring up off grid, you are seeing this movement of solar. How is that? Does it make your lifestyle? Do you have to kind of say, well, I'm gonna give up this to be able to be off grid, or is it pretty much similar as if whether you're on grid or off grid?
So you certainly have to plan. Like I texted my wife today. We had snow on the panels, and I said, we've got about 2 days worth of batteries, and I said, let's, if there's any energy intensive thing, let's not do that today.
Right.
So you have to budget your power. It's just like your cell phone, right? You want to make sure you're charged up if you go on a large or long trip or something. Yeah. So there's limitations. We have to still heat with propane, or we can't do an electric stove or anything, because that would bring the whole system down on its knees. But it's very doable, and I did it myself with a little bit of help on the back end connecting everything.
Right.
But
just got on YouTube and did it.
YouTube, and then there's some really good wholesalers online that'll just sell you package kits.
Really?
So you get everything from all of the mounting hardware to the panels, inverter. You just go to Home Depot and get the wire and hook it up.
Wow. Really cool. I think it's cool stuff.
Yeah.
I just came from San Diego, and they obviously have sunshine all the time down there, and no snow to have to kick off the panels, right? So but I'm just always curious. So it works in Idaho too, then? Yeah. Very cool.
Wow. Well, our show here today is called Talkin' What?
Business.
Let's talk some business.
I get off the subject real quick.
So, Justin, talk to us about the business that you have that you brought to Eastern Idaho.
Big Lick.
Big Lick Company. The name is funny and started as a joke almost. So while I was
Big Lick, B-I-G-L-I-C, not L-I-C-K. So
L-I-C-K is the correct spelling, but as every entrepreneur knows, you get creative.
Yeah,
so
you have to.
The city that I lived in was nicknamed Big Lick by the natives, where there was a salt deposit. So animals would come and just get their salt, right? Yeah. And so back in Virginia, it wasn't very uncommon. People would hear the name and go, "Oh, okay, you're from Roanoke, Virginia." It just kind of made sense. And I started Big Lick as a side hustle, which I think most entrepreneurs do, right? I think there's a point where you've got to commit, but it'd be foolish to just jump in cold turkey. Sometimes it's necessary if you have seed funding or something, but for most of us, you've got an idea, you're testing it out. And for me, I had a job selling air conditioners, and I was volunteering as a scoutmaster. And I was so frustrated at just the logistics of being a scoutmaster. Yeah. You'd have a mom saying, "Hey, I've got this boy that's about to age out. What does he need for Eagle?" And I'm like, "Why don't you know that? Why is the onus of proof and paperwork on me? Why don't you have all of those records too?" And I was like, we have smartphones in our pockets. Why is there not an app that will kind of synchronize all of this data, and you can make assignments on the smartphone and the parents can see what's going on that smartphone? So I started building that app with a friend of mine, and we spent several years in development. And to get on the App Store, you just needed a business. And so the app was Assistant Scoutmaster, but just to get in the App Store, you needed a technical business name, and I did Big Lick Company. No one would ever see it, right? That was the idea, because you'd see Assistant Scoutmaster, but Big Lick was there. And then later, and that business kind of failed spectacularly.
Nice. If you're gonna fail, might as well go down big. Right?
I think of all of the money that I could have spent having fun instead of building something.
We all look at those.
Don't look at that. No.
No, but you learn so much,
Yeah.
you know, and I've taken so much from that experience and applied it. So it's just education is all it is, higher expensive education.
Yeah.
But when an opportunity presented itself later and I needed an entity, it was just parked right there waiting for me.
go.
And so
Good. We'll talk about the business that you're doing right now with the Idaho Innovation Center.
yeah, so I had a job selling air conditioning, and I had a tech background. I dropped out of the Marriott School of Business at BYU.
Oh, wait a minute. Let's take a time out here. He made an interesting comment to us earlier. You know, the guy went to high school in Utah.
Yeah, Davis Darts.
Davis
Yeah,
Darts,
yeah.
and
He didn't
he
graduate.
didn't graduate.
Yeah.
So why?
So I'm 3 of 4 children. My oldest brother didn't graduate. He's just a savant. Like the guy just is super smart.
Right.
Was bored in high school. Never went. And obviously, if you don't go to high school, you don't graduate. Right.
Yeah.
My sister also didn't graduate. She took kind of a study abroad in Paris, and they wouldn't graduate her because she was missing her junior English credit, even though she got a 5 on the AP English test.
Yeah,
They still
funny.
didn't have that technicality. So it was my turn to graduate, and I just thought, I don't need a diploma, right? I want to work for myself.
Yeah.
And diplomas are to prove to other people that you've got what it takes. But if I'm working for myself, I don't care. And I didn't want people to hold that above me and say, you need this to succeed in life. So
And you even dropped out of that Marriott School of...
well, that was later on. But yeah,
Okay.
so I don't think I've ever graduated from anything.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And still a very successful entrepreneur. So pay attention, entrepreneurs. So.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So then Big Lick, though.
Big Lick.
I don't know that we've gotten there yet.
Yeah,
but
no. So
yeah.
I dropped out of Marriott School of Business and did a tech startup with some friends with marketing. And we just I learned at that time tech and the ins and outs of marketing. We flew that startup into the side of a mountain. And it was awesome, right? Just failed like most startups do. And from there, that's when I moved out to Virginia and took a job selling air conditioners. And the first thing I noticed was just how antiquated the entire industry is.
Yeah.
The expectation of getting a quote from somebody is days, not hours or minutes, right? And so if you could turn around a quote in a relatively short amount of time, it would blow people's minds, you know?
Air conditioners for what?
So it's infrastructure cooling is what I've kind of the niche in that world that I've fallen into. So cell sites, pump stations for wastewater treatment plants.
So remote buildings and stuff
remote
like that.
buildings.
Places that are getting hot that you need to stay cool.
Yeah.
Because the equipment fries out if it gets too hot, right?
Right. So right now there is the technology I sell cooling infrastructure that's making this conversation happen.
Yeah.
You know, so whether it's this electrical cabinet that the fiber is going into that's being relayed to the houses or moving on, it'll have a little tiny air conditioner on there.
Right.
Or our cell phones are pinging a tower that's got a little hut underneath it with 2 wall-mounted air conditioners. So we all use the stuff I sell every day, but none of us really pay any attention to it.
Right.
So I just noticed how not backwards, but just how slow the industry was to adopt anything modern.
Right.
You know, and people can look at me and say, wow, you built this company, and I'm not special. I don't even think I'm particularly good at it. I just
You're growing and you're doing all sorts of amazing things.
No, yeah, we're seeing tremendous growth. I mean, 50% year-over-year growth.
Wow.
Minimum. I mean, we're going to probably crush that this year.
Wow.
But we're just kind of watching YouTube and doing what everyone else says should be done. It's not like I'm not a genius, and I'm not.
Future entrepreneurs, if you don't think you can do it, that's a great testimonial. They didn't graduate from high school, didn't graduate from college, but yet he knew he was going to work for himself, and he's doing a phenomenal job of running a company. So it doesn't take a degree, it doesn't take a lot of money to get into business. You bootstrap this to get up and going, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been fortunate. I've had really good partners. So the springboard that got me where I was right now, I built some things early on that ended up not failing because of what I did. It was actually really successful, but there were some management things beyond my level that killed me. So I had to rebuild. But part of that rebuilding process was other people in the industry saw what I had done and reached out to me and said, "Hey, that's unfortunate what just happened to you, but could you do something similar for me over here?" So I've got 3 new vendors, and I'm basically doing what I did the first time with 3 new guys. I'm more diversified.
Yeah.
That's something I definitely learned, is I had all my eggs in one basket, and when that basket fell, it hurt.
Yeah. And you talked at least on 2 occasions where there was epic failure, but what does it take to get up and do it again?
I think anyone could be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
But there's a sickness in our brain.
A mental illness,
Yeah,
right?
So I've joked that I'm unemployable.
Yeah.
I can't work for anyone else. So I don't know what other options I've got, right? And I look at other people's businesses and I naturally just want to say, "Hey, what if you tried this?" I went to the ramen guy. I'm like, "Dude, you got to capitalize on it." I'm like thinking through improving his business, because it's just kind of how my mind works. I was the kid on the corner selling anything. I remember when I was a kid, we'd come up to Idaho and I'd bring potatoes back. I remember peddling 50-pound boxes of potatoes on my scooter to my neighbors. It's just always kind of been there.
Yeah. No, and I think that's what it takes. You say you're unemployable. I say I don't take direction well. That's what I say. And it's not that I'm not coachable. I think I am, but it is. It's like, if I had to be micromanaged, I think it just wouldn't work. In fact, it hasn't worked. I have stories too, but anyway.
But you need all kinds, right? Like I've people that work for me that love accounting. Oh my gosh, I could never do that, and they just love it, right? And so I think there's this natural, the natural selection of people that don't view it as a risk. They just view it as the only option.
So where you have had significant growth of 50% or better, how do you even manage that? Because you've got these components, and has the supply chain screwed that up as well? But how do you handle that much growth? Because that's significant. You're talking about a significant amount of growth year over year.
Yeah. My partners have been critical with that. So we've definitely seen supply chain issues. But my partners understand where I'm coming from. So most distributors in my world have a warehouse full of equipment, and I've not, I didn't take out a loan and have $1 million worth of air conditioners sitting ready to go.
Right.
I've leveraged partnerships with other people or manufacturers that understand where I'm coming from. And so they've worked with me to maybe keep some units on their shelves that I have access to, that we can quick ship, or do quick ship programs that we can leverage, because they understand what I'm trying to build, with the goal to grow into that warehouse full of air conditioners on the shelves.
Yeah.
Well, he's building a phenomenal business. That's why we brought him on to the Innovation Center, doing absolutely amazing things with the air conditioning business. And by the way, you're selling them throughout the world, is that right?
Yeah, it's harder. I feel bad for people everywhere else. Like, we don't realize how good we have it in the States, because we can buy something. We can go to Home Depot and buy something for cheap.
Yeah.
If you're in Mexico, that same thing costs like 50% more.
Yeah, a whole month's paycheck. So
and it's not, because it's just harder, right? We have to jump through so many hoops to ship something to Canada or wherever it is. So I would like to bring more people in and focus on an international audience, but right now it's just the United States.
Is it?
Yeah.
Good. Well, you're doing some amazing things. In the questionnaire that we asked him to provide some entrepreneurial advice, and he said, find an entrepreneurial friend and a mentor. You don't always have to take their advice, but you'll feel less crazy because they're doing it too. And so that's great. Another one advice: keep overhead low. What kind of advice would you give to and that's the reason that I wanted Justin to be on the show, because he fits the new model of a new, younger entrepreneur, and probably the youngest guy that we maybe had on the show.
Yeah.
And so what is some advice that you would give those entrepreneurs?
So, as messed up as it is, my first hire was a foreign national. And it's easy. I don't have payroll, to mess with. It's just you transfer money.
Right.
Done, and you log that in QuickBooks as an expense. But if I had to hire a domestic developer, they're going to be $120 an hour.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's really expensive. But I was really lucky to find Paulius, my first hire. He helped me build Assistant Scoutmaster, and it's worked out great for him. He's earning a wonderful wage for Lithuania, and it's great for me. And so I had my first 3 hires were all international. So international is not a multinational big company game now. There's ways to find labor in developing markets, and the talent out there is amazing.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
Now, with that said, we've got 4 employees, 4 including myself. I've got 2 Americans now, right? So I leveraged to help grow at the beginning some foreign skill sets, but now I've been able to employ some Americans as well.
Very good. And like he's mentioned before, a lot of stuff he's learned on YouTube. I don't spend enough time on YouTube, but I know that the younger generation, they learn a lot. You need to switch out a battery, they're on YouTube learning it. Things that we had to figure out on our own, they're using YouTube. So that's a great tool that is out there as well. Justin, is there anything else that you could enlighten our audience with on being a successful owner of a company?
Yeah, I think in this day and age, I live in the middle of nowhere, as we've already established, but that doesn't matter. Right. It doesn't matter where you are, but how you're viewed definitely matters. And so I think any business owner needs to pay attention to SEO, search engine optimization.
Yeah.
If you're not thinking about that first, I think you're going about business just in the backwards way. Even if you're just a local plumber, right? You need to make sure that when someone puts in Idaho Falls plumber, you're number 1.
Yeah.
Right? Like that has to be a goal. My market is national, and so it's a little more tricky. I have to be more specific and more niched in what people are searching for, so I'm relevant in those searches. But again, so many wonderful free resources on YouTube or tools. I was just talking with Paulius, my developer. We, just put a new extension on a new website we're spinning up. That basically grades you on your search engine optimization for the articles that you're putting on your page. So
that's going to lead right into our training topic today. So stay tuned. We're gonna have Justin enlighten us on some of the SEO secrets that he has, and it's made it so that I bet you that because of your work with the SEO has helped us 50% growth every year.
No doubt. I mean, so when we do get-togethers at the Idaho Innovation Center, they'll always ask, like, what do you need? Can I introduce you to someone? And for me, I'm probably not going to find anyone at the Idaho Innovation Center that's going to hook me up with someone that needs air conditioners. Right. It's just, so I live and die on the internet and SEO.
Very good advice. So and I gotta say, when he moved into the Innovation Center, he just happened to have got this new car.
Yeah, those are cool too.
And man, he took me for a ride in this new car that starts with a T. And he didn't even touch the steering wheel, I swear, the whole time going. He goes, where do you want to go? And I said, let's go to Jakers. He just hit Jakers on the map and then sat back and talked to me. And what wonderful technology that Tesla has.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, cool. I'm a Tesla nerd, so I've had a few good bets in my life. Bitcoin was one, and Tesla's the other one. So I finally made enough off of it to buy a car. So
very good.
That's the younger generation. I love that. So talk about this quote that you gave us, Justin.
I saw this the other day, and it just resonated with me. This is by Simon Sinek, or he might have got it from Robert Garland. He says, too many people ignore opportunities because they see only danger. Entrepreneurs ignore danger because they see only opportunities. I mean, it's beautifully, because it's kind of symmetrical.
Yep.
I would kind of I would argue with it a little bit and say we don't ignore danger. I think every entrepreneur understands the risks. They're calculated.
Calculated, yeah.
You know, we're not jumping into burning buildings because we think that's fun and we're getting thrills off of it. We understand what's necessary, and we see something that's greater than that.
Yeah. No, I like that, because it comes down to your thing of, I can't work for somebody, I don't need a diploma, I don't need these things. So you don't view it as risk. And everyone that maybe is, I hate to say playing it safe, like working in a job, I mean, they have no idea tomorrow it could end. I mean,
we need those people.
Yeah, we do.
Right?
But even if you look at like around the world, right? Little shop owners in Russia are impacted by what their government does to where they're anyway. Yeah. And that can happen in the United States, not at the same, because of the same reasons. But yeah, you're an entrepreneur, having a regular job, you're taking as much risk whether you know it or not, I think. But
it's very good. Justin Pedersen comes from a great family here in Eastern Idaho, and lives quite the life there at the office grid. What's the area called? It's not Swan Valley. It's,
I don't even know, because we're the only people that live there.
Yeah.
So
it's called
Antelope Flats.
Pedersen
Antelope Flats. So between here and Swan Valley.
I think
So
I passed it on a float
Highway
one
marker
time.
359.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. So Justin, we wish you the best. He's the founder of Big Lick Company and selling those air conditioners all over the country, and we wish him the best. What a young super entrepreneur we have. We're learning a lot from him at the Innovation Center, and we wish you only the best with your business there. So we want you to stay on. In fact, this training topic, as I was visiting with him yesterday and asking him about some of the things that have helped him be successful, we found some of these tricks. These are just simple little things that I wanted to go over to make your SEO, your search engine optimization, successful. So let's go through that list, and then I want Justin to add in some of the. He gave me some advice that even we're not doing with our show Talkin-Business that he suggested us doing. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that, and what are some things that he sees make his SEO successful. So choose niche words. If you're not doing that, I mean, there's no other reason to be doing SEO if you're not. So go ahead.
But asking Justin, are you kind of guessing what you think like how do you choose those words, I guess would be
There's a lot of tools out there.
Yeah.
So if you want weight loss, good luck, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of competition for weight loss. But if you're more strategic about it, like plumber Idaho Falls, right? There's going to be a million plumbers, but there's a lot less in Idaho Falls.
Right.
Let's be honest, he only wants the Idaho Falls business
Right.
anyway, right? So if you can choose those words, but there's tools that you can put that word into, and it'll show you how often those keywords are searched.
Yeah.
So you'd say, wow, there's 150 people every month looking for Idaho Falls plumber.
Yeah.
And so if you can position your website in a way to be number one, guess what? That's 150 extra calls.
You will get the most calls. So very good. Right for humans, not for bots. How would you explain that one?
So Google's algorithm is always changing, and their goal is to just make sure that their results to the end user are the best. Mm-hmm. And bot content usually isn't that good. And so if the content or the page isn't that good or engaging, so they're going to measure how long a person's on that page. So if someone clicks onto your page and then clicks off really quick, Google notices that, and they're going to penalize you for that. So if you can have pictures or videos or graphs that capture people's attention, that stay on yours, and good engaging content, Google says, whoa, wait, someone came to me, asked where to go, and I never saw them again after they clicked that link. Yeah. That must be a helpful link.
Yeah. Wow. So create a smooth user experience. I think that's something that the programmers look at. You're looking at how many clicks does it take to get to what they want to avoid some of that, right? Yeah. Because that is the one thing in today's day. We don't like to sit there. Okay, next. So that clean user experience does matter.
Yep. Ensure fast page loads. That's so frustrating when you go to a website and then you have to wait 10 seconds for it to load.
That's
so
funny.
That's if you want people to stay and search your stuff, you got to make sure that you have that you ensure fast page loads. Make your site mobile friendly. I mean, who isn't carrying a smartphone these days?
Yeah.
Even the grandparents are.
And there's a lot of people that don't even have that don't get computers. They just use their smartphones. Is that something you see? Yeah.
No, and so those are both two metrics that Google judges your page, right? And if you have a slow ranking, Google provides tools where you give your site for them to crawl, and they'll say, "Whoa, this is really slow," and it'll hurt you in the long run.
Yeah.
If everything else being equal, your page is slower than your competition's, Google's going to prioritize them over you.
Right.
Wow, that's great. Great things to learn. Increase your off-site visibility. Use videos like Justin said. Use videos and images that's going to keep people there. I think that's great advice. Hopefully some entrepreneurs are listening to that one. And then measure the success. They have great analytic tools to tell you what's working and what's not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so whether it's Google Analytics, which almost every website uses, or you can pay for things where you can A/B test. So you can try one headline, write two headlines, and see which one has a better conversion, right? So if you come to my website, you'll see one headline, A, and then you come to my website, you see B. That just happens on a greater scale. And so you can test and say, wow, we've got 20 more conversions off of this headline versus that one. So that goes into measuring.
Yeah.
That's great. We've got a 7-minute video that we're going to start at the end, and it's once again, it's got some basic, but I watched it, and it's absolutely got some good points for businesses if you're going up against some of the bigger stores to do. So it's kind of a great little video that we're going to show at the end. So Justin, thank you for your. Oh, by the way, what's some other advice that you would give to them?
Yeah. So one of the things you mentioned here was increase off-site visibility. You might hear that and say, I don't really know what that means, right?
I won't admit that I thought that.
Yeah. I was wondering what it meant.
Yeah.
I'm glad someone's explaining.
So we talked about it yesterday.
Yes.
So on this Talkin-Business site, you've got Talkin-Business, Talkin-Business.
Yep.
So another thing that's out there is every website is ranked with like an authority rank. So a brand new website, Google's going to look at that and be like, I don't know, where if you go to Nike, right, their authority is going to be super high, right? Because they've invested a lot of time and money into that website.
Funny you mentioned that. That's actually in the video that they're going to watch of that Nike example. So.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yep.
So what happens is you start off with a low authority because you're brand new. But if you can get another website, how long's Talkin-Business been?
Over a year and a half almost.
Okay, so I've been on this show, and so if you link to my website, Google bots are crawling your web page. This is the off-site visibility. And it says, Talkin-Business, they've been around. They've got a lot of content, new content. People go to it. So your authority is going up. But they'll see that, whoa, this authority website is linking over to
another website.
To this other website, and they pay attention to all those things. And so a thing that's not on this list, kind of on the list, is called backlinking. And so that's what I'm doing with other websites related in my industry. I go to them and say, hey, I see that you do industrial cooling. Could I write an article on the importance of protecting your cooling systems with coats, or protective coatings? I go, yeah, that'd be really good content for us. But in that article, I can link back to my website. So I'm kind of drafting off of their authority from their website, but linking back to me. And so it shares a little bit of that authority.
Yeah, he asked me yesterday, do you backlink to us? And I was like, wow, that's a new word. But in all of our interviews that we do, if we just put their website, then it's leading them right to their website so they can learn more about it.
Yeah.
Haven't been doing that, so that was just like, duh.
I'll have to get Ryan Jose on that. Huh?
Yes, we will. Yeah. So absolutely great. Any other SEO advice that you'd give to people?
We could be here for days.
Yes, we could. Well, he's done a great job being a young entrepreneur. Definitely just recommend that people out there take his advice in being an entrepreneur. You don't have to be a high school graduate, a college graduate. you can do it and still work for yourself. So Justin, thank you for being on Talking Business today.
Thanks, you guys. My pleasure.
So let's give away. Let's see here.
It's a $50.
$50. We're gonna give away $50. So get the texting number up there. My phone is in my hand. So if you want to go to this awesome, amazing Systemizing Sales for Success class, then you're gonna need to answer this trivia question. What high school? Ooh, that could be a tough one.
That's a tough one because we only mentioned it once.
We only did mention it. Oh, let's make it a little easier. What can we make it a little bit easier with? What does Justin sell?
There you go.
What does this company sell? Keeps us maybe a little cooler or something. What would that be? So text me. What is the or his name of his company that we talked about multiple times? So give us some advice, and you'll get $50 off the sales class starting tomorrow. So I look forward to getting some texts on that because it's an amazing class. Even if you've already signed up, we've already got half the room full. We'll give you $50 off. So check it out. Next week we have a big CEO coming up here. Kind of what's Eastern Idaho known for?
A lot of stuff.
Potatoes.
There we go. I was going to say potatoes, but it's been changing.
Yeah.
I want to say.
So we have a company that's been in the potato industry for years, Spudnik out of Blackfoot.
Yeah.
And they have a new CEO that's actually been there for, I think, 4 years now. He's from a foreign country. And when I talked to him a week or two ago, it was a little bit hard to understand him, but he is doing amazing things at Spudnik down in Blackfoot, and we're going to have him on the show next week. So tune in to Talking Business next week. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks, everybody. Watch this video on SEO. Give us a thumbs up.
We got it.
There we go.
Did you know that big brands replicate a very similar SEO strategy to each other? Do you want to know what it is? Hey everyone, I'm Neil Patel, and today I'm going to break down 7 secrets you can learn from big brands. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this channel, and if you're on YouTube, click the alert notification. Number 1, the brand itself is the main driver of SEO traffic. Keyword search value comparison, right? Just look at this keyword, Nike. Over 5 million searches a month versus shoes, 1.2 million, right? That's just in the United States. In other words, more people are searching for Nike than they are for shoes. That's the power of brand building. When you do things like TV advertising, radio advertising, social media advertising, content marketing, whenever you create a good product or service, that'll help your brand queries. And that also helps your SEO. Number 2, they don't have to build backlinks. See, most big brands will get backlinks without having to do any form of cold outreach. And all they have to really do is get PR, talk about stock earnings, release new products. They don't really have to do much, and that's how they're getting backlinks. If you just look at neilpatel.com, I get a lot of backlinks from Ubersuggest without really doing much work at all. And this leads me into my third point. They do tons and tons of PR, but it's not for SEO, it's for product sales. So let's say Nike wants to release a new version of the Air Jordans. Doing a big PR campaign will get that demand going so people are waiting in line and those shoes will sell out right when they come out. Same with Apple. They create all this pent-up demand before they do the launch. And it just works extremely well. So PR is a really good strategy, and you should consider doing PR. There's a lot of performance-based PR agencies like PRServe where they only charge you if they get you PR. Number 4, they invest in content at scale. You think of companies like Apple. You're like, Neil, Apple doesn't have much content. Did you know that they have 171 million pages indexed by Google? Microsoft, 34.9 million pages indexed by Google. IBM, 9.93 million pages indexed by Google. Nike, 2.24 million pages indexed by Google. You're catching the point here, right? Even on neilpatel.com, I have thousands of pages. Nowhere near Nike or Apple or Amazon or any of these big guys. But over time, I'll have more and more pages. And that really helps getting more traffic, assuming the pages are high in quality. Number 5, they leverage localization and translations to as many languages as possible in several international markets. Here's the thing that people don't tell you. SEO in English is competitive. SEO in languages like Portuguese or Hindi or Swahili, not as competitive. So consider translating and transcribing your content, because in these other regions, there are buyers and people with money. So you're missing out on a huge chunk of traffic. NeilPatel.com, you'll see my content in German, Portuguese, Spanish, English, some even in Italian and German, and the list goes on and on. I even have certain pages in Japanese and Mandarin. I really have leveraged international translation because it brings more revenue and more traffic. Number 6, they don't have to do, and often don't do, as much SEO optimization. Because searchers will have their search intent met when they end up on the official page of their brand, Google will keep sending people their way. Their domain authority is so high that even making some mistakes, they'll still rank high. Just think about it this way. When you go to Apple, you know what you're looking for. You go there, you typically will buy some AirPods or a phone or a laptop, but the intent is there. So think about user experience and make sure that you are putting the user first and not Google first. And yes, in the short run, that may not get you the rankings you want, but in the long run, it will. 7, they're slow to change. Big companies are slow in decision making. It's just how they are, and that's okay. And with your business, you have to remember, you're going to be fast in them, and that's a good thing. But when big companies are slow, a lot of them, what they end up doing is they really look at the data and they think about what changes to make. And that really helps them, because when they make changes, a lot of times they're much more calculated than startups. They're just gunslinging and doing experiments. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't do experiments or you should move slow. It just more so means that you should look more at the data, just like the big companies do. Now, if you have any questions about the SEO secrets from these large corporations, leave a comment below. I'm here to help. If you just want my team to implement all these strategies for you, check out my ad agency, NP Digital, where we're here to help you grow. If you enjoyed the video, like it, share it, tell the people about it. Thank you for watching.